Right, in this video we're going to have a look at Prim's algorithm to find a minimum spanning tree. Here's my first example. I've got this this graph here, and the first thing you do is you pick any node you like, A, B, C, D or E. In an exam they usually tell you which one to start with, so I'm going to start at A. Look at the arcs coming out of it. There's one here with weight 8, there's one here with weight 5. You pick the arc with the smallest weight, which is, in this case, is A to D, and that will form part of your minimum spanning tree. You do the same thing again with nodes A and D. Out of A there's an 8 and a 6 and a 7. You pick the arc with the smallest weight, which is this 6, and draw that in. Now you look at nodes A, E and D. Pick the arc with the smallest weight from those three nodes, which is this one here, E to C, of weight 1. Draw that in. Right, then you look at nodes A, E, D and C. Look at all the arcs coming out of those and find the one with the smallest weight, which is this one here, E to B. So draw that in. And now we've chosen all the nodes and we've found our minimum spanning tree. And the minimum weight is the sum of the weights on those arcs, in this case 15. Good, let's try another example. We'll start at node A. There's two arcs coming out of it. The one with the smallest weight is the 5, so you pick that one. Now the arc with the smallest weight coming out of A and B is this 7, so choose that one. Now look at nodes B and F. B and F. The arc with the smallest weight coming out of B and F is this one here, of weight 8. Well, we can't pick that one because it would make a cycle. Okay, you're not allowed to make cycles. So instead of picking 8, look for the next smallest, which happens to be this 12. Oh, it was there. It was there, yeah, F to D. So pick that one and draw that one in. Right, now look at nodes B, F and D. Pick the arc with the smallest weight. It happens to be this one here, C to D. Now look at nodes B, C, D and F. Look at all the arcs coming out of those nodes, and pick the one with the smallest weight, which is this one here, D to E. And now we've chosen all the nodes, and these orangey blue brown lines form part of the minimum spanning tree. And the minimum weight is 35. Just add the weights together. Easy. Right, now let's do the same thing, but using a matrix. This matrix here, this adjacency matrix, shows this diagram here. For example, this number here, 10, shows that R and Q are connected by an arc of weight 10. There it is, R to Q, weight 10. And this 21 here shows that T and S are connected with an arc of weight 21. There. Right, so how do we use this matrix? Okay, what you do is you pick any of these nodes on the left hand side here, and I'm going to pick P. It doesn't matter which one you pick, but in an exam they might tell you which one to start with. So I'm going to start with P here. I'm going to cross out the row P and circle the P at the top here. That's the first one I did. Put a 1 up there. Look down the column P and pick the smallest number, which is a 14. Put a circle around it. Cross out the row T that it's in. And because it's in row T, put a circle around the T at the top. That's the second one I just did. Now look at columns P and T and look for the smallest number which is not crossed out. That's a 15. No, it's not. It's a 12. Ah. Put a circle around this 12 here. cross out the row that it's in, put a circle around the U at the top. Now look for the smallest number in columns P, T and U, which is the 15. Put a circle around the 15, cross out the row that it's in. Because I just crossed out row Q, I put a circle around the Q at the top. Now look for the smallest number in columns P, Q, T and U. The smallest number in those columns is an 8, the smallest number which is not already crossed out. Put a circle around this 8, cross out the row that it's in row S, put a circle around S at the top. Look for the smallest number in these 5 columns, in columns P, Q, S, and T and U. The smallest number which is not already crossed out, which is that 10 over here. Put a circle around the 10, cross out the row that it's in, put a circle around the R, because I just crossed out row R, put a circle around the R at the top, and now look at all the numbers, they've all been crossed out. These circled numbers here tell you the minimum spanning tree, the arcs that are included in the minimum spanning tree. This 15 tells me to join up P and Q with weight 15. This 10 tells me to join up R to Q with weight 10, and so on. And then I've drawn it down here. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 arcs form the minimum spanning tree. And when you add them up, you'll get the minimum weight. Let's try this example. Start with row A. Cross out row A. Put a circle at the top, because I've just started with A. The smallest number in column A is a 12. Put a circle around the 12. Cross out the row that it's in. I've just crossed out row C, so put a circle around the C at the top. Look for the smallest number in columns A and C and put a circle around it. Oops. No. Cross out the row D, because I just found the 23. Cross out the row D, put a circle around the D at the top. Now look for the smallest number in columns A, C and D, which is the 15, and put a circle around it. Cross out the row that it's in, which is B, put a circle around the B at the top. Look for the smallest number in columns A, B, C and D, and put a circle around it. Cross out the row that it's in, oops, and then cross out the E. I chose row E, circle around E. All the numbers have been crossed out. The circled numbers tell you the total of the circled numbers tell you the minimum weight, and they also tell you which arcs to join together. Like this 15 tells me to join B and D. B and D. This 12 tells me to join A and C, and so on. And that will give you a minimum spanning tree.